loud.
See, now they say it's too loud.
Yes,
I don't know
It's
what
loud.
to tell you all.
it's very loud.
Now it is.
Utah, is it? Hang on.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, take that down for them.
How's that, Utah?
Can you sing
You-
something? Sing a
Is that-
note?
It's still it's always in the front. It's always the loudest. I would love to hear Tony's voice or Daryl's, but
Can you hear my voice?
That gray slider that you were just.
You're not very loud, Daryl. But you're good compared to Tony.
Okay.
Oh, no, I can't hear the phone.
Oh, that's not loud enough, Tony.
I can turn my drum out, but you
Yeah.
always.
You know you're being recorded now. You know, right?
Right.
that's okay. We always have these conversations.
Yeah, I know. You have to.
Morning, everyone. Hello, everyone out there in Facebook land.
Good morning.
Everyone in Zoom.
That's better. How's that, ladies?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My friends. God's blessing upon you. Let's praise the Lord together. My friends. Yeah, all the way in God's shelter. Now we've come to praise His name together. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My friends.
My friends.
Sing Hosanna.
Hosanna.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
In the sanctuary of our Lord's protection, and the stronghold of our Lord's defense. With His love, our spirits are illumined. As we glorify His name, our hearts are blessed. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My
Good morning. My friend.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My friend. Good morning. Good morning. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hello, everyone there in the Facebook room, or I should say out in Facebook land, and everyone here in the Zoom room. We're glad that you're all here. The squares are too tiny for me to see who you are. I know that Vicky and Yuda are here. I don't know who the rest of you are, but it's good to see all of you. What's that again?
Oh, Dell and Terry.
Oh,
Good
Daryl
morning.
and Terry.
Dell.
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 Dell and Terry. I was going to say, no, Daryl's here. Is there another
No,
Daryl?
Dell.
Dell and Terry. Hello, Dell and Terry. We're glad that you're here. And here in the room, you cannot see, we have Nevada, and we have also joining us today, the one and only Miss Nini Ha. We're so glad she's here. I know everyone out there is, in the middle of celebrating or in the throes of the holiday season and all that good stuff. So if you're taking some time to join us today, we really, really, really appreciate you being here, whether you're here as we're doing this or happen to stream it later on. We're glad that you chose to spend a little time with us. And I guess we should open up with a prayer.
Yes.
And I don't think, of course we're going to open up with a prayer. Did you want to go ahead and do that, Daryl?
No.
I know you said you were struggling.
Help yourself.
Daryl's having some vision problems today. So he has asked me, I think I'll just go ahead and read this prayer from the Bob. No, I'm going to read this prayer from Abdul Baha. O God, my God, thou art my hope and my beloved, my highest aim and desire. With great humbleness and entire devotion, I pray to thee to make me a minaret of thy love in thy land, a lamp of thy knowledge among thy creatures, and a banner of divine bounty in thy dominion. Number me with such of thy servants as have detached themselves from everything but thee, have sanctified themselves from the transitory things of this world, and have freed themselves from the promptings of the voices of idle fancies. Let my heart be dilated with joy through the spirit of confirmation from thy kingdom, and brighten my eyes by beholding the hosts of divine assistance descending successively upon me from the kingdom of thine omnipotent glory. Thou art in truth the Almighty, the All-Glorious, the All-Powerful. And of course, once again, that was a prayer by Abdul Baha. So, I don't know how the weather is where you all are. It's a little chilly here in the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
And say, call it the warm state. It's the Sunshine State. The sun's shining, but it's still kind of chilly. And we're going to continue our reading from chapter 13. We're actually coming close to the end of it now. And I marked it, and there it is. What we were reading, we didn't finish this section within this chapter. And this section is the manner of coming, the manner in which the return of the manifestation of God would occur. Okay, and in the book of Igan, it's called the book of certitude. In Baha'i circles, we used to call it yes, certitude. I did say certitude. What did it sound like?
You said servitude.
I said certitude, but anyway, maybe I said servitude. It's certitude, book of certitude. We often refer to it by the Persian term book, these Kitab-i-Igan, which means book of certitude. And Baha'u'llah is going to great lengths to basically to tell us what certain things mean in prophetic scripture. He explains what heaven means. It doesn't mean that cloudy, fluffy place that we sometimes are taught that it means. He explains what clouds mean, because all of these things actually have spiritual significance. And basically what Baha'u'llah was saying in a nutshell is, just as Jesus said, I will come like a thief in the night, Baha'u'llah says a lot of people will not recognize the return because it won't be what they think it is. It won't be as they think it is. And so he takes goes to a lot of trouble to explain what a lot of these things are. And so we're continuing that today. So let's continue. Let's go ahead and begin. And we're starting on, if you are in this, I didn't even say what the name of the book was.
You're right. I
Okay.
was holding it up as you were talking.
Oh, okay, yes. Baha'u'llah and the
This
New
is-
Era, and the New Era, ERA, Baha'u'llah and the New Era, an introduction to the Baha'i Faith by J.E. Esselmont. We're in chapter 13 once again. And if you're in this edition, you are on page 254, and we are reading again. It's about midway of the section, no matter which edition you have. It's about midway of that section, manner of coming, manner of coming. So we're beginning with the chat with the paragraph that begins with the all glorious hath decreed these very things. Okay. The all glorious hath decreed these very things that are contrary to the desires of wicked men, to be the touchstone and standard whereby he proveth his servants, that the just may be known from the wicked, and the faithful distinguished from the infidel. And now he goes on to explain what angels mean. And now concerning his words, and this is in quotes, and he shall send his angels. By angels, that term angels, by angels is meant those who, reinforced by the power of the Spirit, have consumed with the fire of the love of God all human traits and limitations, and clothed themselves with the attributes of the most exalted beings and of the cherubim. Okay? In other words, you're not going to have to see, beings with wings and so forth flying at this particular time, but it will be those people who, and I'll read that again, have clothed themselves with the attributes, the characteristics of the most exalted beings and of the cherubim, the attributes of the manifestation of God and of those beings in heaven, shall we say.
beings here in this case is capitalized.
Okay, and you are correct.
So-
Cherubim, beings, yes, beings is
And
capitalized, and
cherubim.
also cherubim, yes. As the adherents of Jesus have never understood the hidden meanings of these words or meaning of these words, and as the signs which they and leaders of their faith have expected have failed to appear, they therefore refused to acknowledge, even until now, the truth of those manifestations of holiness that have since the days of Jesus been made manifest. I'll read that again. As the adherents of Jesus have never understood the hidden meaning of these words, and as the signs which they and leaders of their faith have expected have failed to appear, they therefore refuse to acknowledge, even until now, the truth of those manifestations of holiness that have since the days of Jesus been made manifest.
I think it's important to point out here that this section here and this indictment, and that's what it is, applies to every manifestation.
Absolutely,
Has
absolutely.
applied to every manifestation
Yes.
since the beginning.
Yes.
So there are, whenever a new manifestation comes, there are people who refuse to let go of the old rules, the old laws, the old, social order.
You're right. Yes.
So, and that's all this is saying here.
Yeah, that is true. We have a question from Nini Ha, and unfortunately, those of you in Zoom, Nini is not mic'd, so we will have to. Well, they have to accept, but for some people, those are two different things,
But
or those are two opposing things. Mhm.
No, they don't have to let go what I believe. I'm a Christian. I don't have to let go what I believe, but I accept there is a Baha'i.
okay,
Accept the new teaching.
Okay.
okay. What Nini is saying is that as a Christian, she doesn't have to let go. What needs to happen is that they need to accept the new teachings, and
Yes.
that's very true.
Mhm.
Just like
That's very
you
true.
learn on your elementary school, you will never let go what you learn. But when you go to high school, it's just new coming knowledge.
Correct.
Very important point.
Yes. And what she's pointing out is that she's using that metaphor of going to school. You don't, dispose or turn your back on the earlier things that you were taught when you are taught new things in high school. You don't let go of what you learned in elementary school because you're learning new things in high school. But because of you were going to say something.
No, go ahead.
Okay, because of people's refusal to accept the new teachings to continue, they have, and these are getting back to the words of Baha'u'llah, they have thus deprived themselves of the outpourings of God's holy grace and of the wonders of his divine utterance. Daryl, what's an utterance? I know you know, but it's just the words, the spoken word. When you utter, not UDDER.
It is the words.
Yes. I mean, I know that's like asking someone, what color, what is blue if the sky is blue. But remember, notice what it says. They have thus deprived themselves of the outpourings of God's holy grace and of the wonders of his divine utterance. All these things that we're reading to you from Baha'u'llah, some people are just ignoring it. It's not important to them. They don't believe it, etc. Such is their low estate in this, the day of resurrection. There it is in no uncertain terms. He's calling this the day of resurrection. Such is their low estate in this, the day of resurrection. They have even failed to perceive that were the signs of the manifestation of God in every age to appear in the visible realm in accordance with the text of established traditions, none could possibly deny or turn away, nor would the blessed be distinguished from the miserable, and the transgressor from the God-fearing. He's saying if it was too obvious, everybody would believe, even those who didn't. Judge fairly, back to the quote, judge fairly. Were the prophecies recorded in the gospel to be literally fulfilled? Were Jesus, son of Mary, accompanied by angels to descend from the visible heaven upon the clouds? Who would dare to disbelieve? Who would dare to reject the truth and wax disdainful? Nay, such consternation would immediately seize all the dwellers of the earth that no soul would feel able to utter a word, much less to reject or accept the truth. I'm going to read that again. I know it's rather long, but I'll read it again. Judge fairly. Were the prophecies recorded in the gospel to be literally fulfilled, were Jesus, son of Mary, accompanied by angels to descend from the visible heavens upon the clouds, who would dare to disbelieve? Who would dare to reject the truth and wax disdainful? Nay, such consternation would immediately seize all the dwellers of the earth that no soul would feel able to utter a word, much less to reject or accept the truth. And again, that's from the Kitabi
No,
Igam.
and that's important because the preceding sections talk about how some of the things in the holy writings are to be accepted
Mhm.
literally, and there are sections that are to be not accepted literally. So this is saying, if Jesus were to appear in the clouds, in the literal clouds,
Yeah,
okay, no one would question that he is who he says he was based on previous writings.
exactly,
Basically.
exactly, exactly. So to continue, so that was the end of that quote from Baha'u'llah. It was quite long. According to the above explanation, the coming of the Son of Man in lowly human form, born of woman, poor, uneducated, oppressed, and set as naught but the great ones of the earth. I'm sorry, and set at naught by the great ones of the earth. I have to read that all over again because I messed that up bad. According to the above explanation, the coming of the Son of Man in lowly human form, born of woman, poor, uneducated, oppressed, and set at naught in AUGHT by the great ones of the earth, this manner of coming is the very touchstone by which he capitalized, by which he judges the people of earth and separates them one from another, as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. Those whose spiritual eyes are opened. Notice it says spiritual eyes.
Spiritualize.
Those whose spiritual eyes are opened can see through those clouds and rejoice in the power and great glory, the very glory of God, which he comes to reveal. The others whose eyes are still holden by prejudice and error can see but the dark clouds and continue to grope in gloom, deprived of the blessed sunshine. And now here's another quote. And this quote is not from Baha'u'llah. This quote is actually from the Bible, from Malachi. Remember, this is from the
Yeah.
Bible. I just want to make that clear. Behold, I will send my messenger. I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in, but who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap. Before I continue, I want to define fuller's soap because I had to look it up. Anybody else in here know what fuller's soap is? I did not know.
Soap in this case is spelled S-O-P-E.
Yeah, and when I looked it up, I mean, they did spell it by the modern spelling, but yes, and here it's SOPE. It's like Fuller's soap. Fuller's soap is a harsh, abrasive cleaning agent used to clean raw, dirty sheep's wool, and it is apparently a very dirty job. The person who does this is called a fuller. So he's saying that the return of the manifestation is to clean up. To clean up the mess. But who may abide the day of his coming, and who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. Again, that's from Malachi. Now, there is a note here. We're getting to the end of this chapter, and this is a note about just the brevity of all of this, how it couldn't possibly cover everything. And so it's important that we read this note because this is referring to the subject of fulfillment of prophecy. The subject of fulfillment of prophecy is such an extensive one that many volumes would be required for its adequate exposition. All that can be done within the limits of a single chapter is to indicate the main outlines of the Baha'i interpretations. The detailed apocalypses revealed by Daniel and St. John have been left untouched. Readers will find certain chapters of these dealt with in Some Answered Questions, a very, very well-known book in Baha'i circles in which Abdul Baha is explaining various spiritual principles, many of them being from the Bible, but not limited to the Bible. Readers will find certain chapters of these dealt with in Some Answered Questions. In the book of Igan, to which we've already referred, the Katabi Igan. No, I'm sorry, we said Katabi Abda. No, the Katabi Igan, yes. Book of Certitude, yes. In the book of Igan by Baha'u'llah and by Baha'i Proofs by Mirza Abdul Fadl. And in many of the tablets of Baha'u'llah and Abdul Baha, further explanation of prophecies may be found. So this is only barely scratching the surface of the surface. Okay, what we've covered here, but this is the end of chapter 13. And we're going to go into chapter 14 now. And this is continuing regarding prophecy, but this is specifically in relation to the prophecies of Baha'u'llah and Abdul Baha. And you look like you want to do some reading, Daryl.
No, let's do some music.
Oh, you want to hear some music?
Yeah.
You don't think it's a little early for music?
No.
Well,
we waited too late last week.
Apparently, you're able to see. Apparently, you're able to see the clock back there.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. As I was preparing, I learned a few things. Or I don't know if that was my first time seeing. But a lot of what we're reading about was actually revealed in Akka.
Yeah.
And this is what made me decide this would be a good song to do today. And we've done this song many times, Light Shining in Akka. I feel like I want to drum.
No.
I'm not going to get
No.
There was a light shining in Akka. There was a light, it shone all around. A new revelation of God's loving guidance. One holy light, it lit up the night, the words streaming down. So many souls, sharing a journey, so many souls, seeking the light, hearing a voice, whispering inside them, heeding the call, risking their all to do what was right. But so many tried to stop it from going. So many tried to put out that fire. But lovers of truth, in this new dispensation, knew they had found God's love come down, their heart's desire. And there was a light, shining in our God. There was a light, it shone all around, a new revelation of God's loving guidance. One holy light, it lit up the night, the world streaming down. There was a light shining, shone all around. A new revelation, God's loving guidance. One holy light, lit up the night, the world streaming down. One prison cell, made oh so holy, God's revelation, there in the dark, the Son of Truth, this blessed beauty, bringing God's love from up above into our hearts. And there was a light, shining in our God. There was a light, it shone all around.
the night, the world streaming down. One holy light, it lit up the night, the world streaming down. One holy light, it lit up the night, the world streaming down.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And now to continue, we're actually starting a new chapter, folks, a brand new chapter, and it's continuing about prophecy. These are specifically prophecies of Baha'u'llah and Abdu'l-Baha. This is chapter 14. But even though these are prophecies of Baha'u'llah and Abdu'l-Baha, we start with a verse from Deuteronomy from the Bible. And it reads, "And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord hath not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken. But the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him." And that's coming again from Deuteronomy. So now we go into the first section of this chapter 14, Prophecies of Baha'u'llah and Abdu'l-Baha. And this first section is called Creative Power of God's Word. Creative Power of God's Word. God, and God alone, has the power to do whatever he wills. And the greatest proof of a manifestation of God is the creative power of his word, its effectiveness to change and transform all human affairs and to triumph over all human opposition. Through the word of the prophets of God, that's right. Through the word, that's what it says, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Through the word of the prophets of God announces his
No,
will.
through the word of the prophets, God.
I need a comma. That's what I need.
God announces.
Okay. I need a comma. Okay. It's not there. I need a comma. Thank you, Darryl. Through the word of the prophets, God announces his will. And the immediate or subsequent fulfillment of that word is the clearest proof of the prophet's claim and of the genuineness of his inspiration. I'm going to read that again. Through the word of the prophets, God announces his will, and the immediate or subsequent fulfillment of that word is the clearest proof of the prophet's claim and of the genuineness of his inspiration. Now we're reading again from the Bible. This is coming from Isaiah.
Yes.
For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, meaning it doesn't go back, it returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Now, I'm no expert, certainly not in the Bible, and I have absolutely no authority. But for the benefit of some people, I'm going to do my best to kind of break this down to, some simple language to the best of my ability. Just like the rain falls and the snow comes from heaven and it doesn't go back, at least not in that form, it waters the earth and it makes it bring forth, it causes things to grow, that it may give seed to the sower, to the farmer, and bread to those who eat. Just like that, so shall my word that goes out of my mouth, it doesn't come back empty. It accomplishes what I want it to, and it shall prosper in the thing that I sent it to. I don't know, was that kind of in the ballpark?
Yes. I think you nailed it.
Okay. Okay. To continue, when the disciples of John the Baptist came to Jesus with the question, "Art thou he that should come, or do we look for another?" The answer of Jesus was simply to point to the effects wrought by his words. He says, this is from Matthew, "Go and shew John again those things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, the dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me." That's again from Matthew. Let us now see what evidence there is to show whether the words of Baha'u'llah have this creative power, which is distinctive of the Word of God. Baha'u'llah commanded the room. I'll give you a little bit of heads up. This goes into Baha'u'llah sending messages to leaders of the earth at that time, major rulers of the day. Baha'u'llah commanded the rulers to establish universal peace, and their prolongation of the policy of war since 1869 to 1870 has overthrown many ancient dynasties, while each successive war has produced less and less fruits of victory, until the European War of 1914 to 1918 revealed the historically startling fact that war has become disastrous to victor and vanquished alike, and it has an asterisk here down at the bottom of this page. It says this has been further evidenced by the Second World War. Baha'u'llah bade the rulers likewise to act as trustees of those under their control, making political authority a means to true general welfare. Ooh, I'm sorry. I won't. Anyway, Baha'u'llah bade the rulers likewise to act as trustees of those under their control, making political authority a means to true general welfare. The progress towards social legislation has been unprecedented. He commanded, listen to this, he commanded limitation of the extremes of wealth and poverty. And ever since, legislation for the establishment of minimum subsistence levels and for graduated taxation of wealth by income and inheritance taxes has been a constant concern.
I think you need to repeat that
I
one as
sure
well.
am. He commanded limitation of the extremes of wealth and poverty. And ever since, legislation for the establishment of minimum subsistence levels and for graduated taxation of wealth by income and inheritance taxes has been a constant concern. He commanded the abolition of both chattel and economic slavery. And ever since, the progress toward emancipation has been a ferment in all parts of the world. You'll be interested as we continue. Baha'u'llah declared the equality of men and women, expressed through equal responsibilities and equal rights and privileges. And since that declaration, the bonds by which women have been bound for ages have been breaking, and woman has rapidly been securing her rightful place as the equal and partner of man. Now, we know that there are plenty of places, including here, where there's still much work to be done, but the work is being done. The prophecy is becoming fulfilled. He declared the fundamental oneness of religions, and the succeeding interval has witnessed the most determined efforts of sincere souls in all parts of the world to achieve a new degree of tolerance, of mutual understanding, and of cooperation for universal ends. The sectarian attitude has everywhere been undermined, and its historical position has become more and more untenable. The basis of exclusiveness in religion has been destroyed by the same forces making nationalism of the self-contained type incapable of survival. Now we know we are still hearing, all of that even today.
Right.
Certainly. But again, it's crumbling. And we're told, even in the Baha'i writings, that what we're actually experiencing is the last dying breaths of the old order,
That's right.
trying to hang on, trying to push back, and yet it is still faltering, faltering, faltering. To continue, I don't know. You think we should continue that?
We are,
Maybe a little bit more.
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm.
Because this is actually rather lengthy, but continuing. Again, we're talking about prophecies of Baha'u'llah. He commanded universal education and made the independent investigation of truth. I'm sorry, independent investigation of truth a proof of spiritual vitality. I'm going to read that again. He commanded universal education and made the independent investigation of truth a proof of spiritual vitality. Modern civilization has been stirred to its depths by this new leaven. Compulsory education for children and the extension of educational facilities for adults have become a primary policy of government. Nations which deliberately seek to restrict that very policy have aroused revolution within and suspicion and fear outside their boundaries. Baha'u'llah commanded the adoption of a universal auxiliary language, and Dr. Zamenhof and others obeyed his call by devoting their lives and genius to this great task and opportunity. Above all, Baha'u'llah imbued humanity with a new spirit, arousing new longings in minds and hearts and new ideals for society. Nothing in all history is so dramatic and impressive as the course of events since the dawn of the Baha'i era in 1844. Year by year, the power of a dead past prolonged through outworn ideas, habits, attitudes, and institutions has weakened until at present every intelligent man and woman on earth realizes that humanity is passing through its most terrible crisis. On the one hand, we see the new creation arising as the light of Baha'u'llah's teaching has revealed the true path of evolution. On the other hand, we see naught but disaster and frustration in all realms where that light is resisted or ignored. Yet to the faithful Baha'i, these and countless other evidences, impressive as they are, fail to give the real measure of the spiritual majesty of Baha'u'llah. His life on earth and the irresistible force of his inspired words stand as the only true criterion of the will of God. A study of the more detailed prophecies of Baha'u'llah and their fulfillment will give powerful corroborative evidence. Of these prophecies, we shall now proceed to give a few examples, which of course will continue next week.
Right.
But of these prophecies, we shall now proceed to give a few examples about the authenticity of which there can be no dispute. They were widely published and known before their fulfillment came about. The letters which he sent to the crowned heads of the world, in which many of these prophecies occur, were compiled in a book which was first published in Bombay in later 19th century. Several editions have since been published. We shall also give some examples of noteworthy prophecy. We shall also give examples of noteworthy prophecies by Abdul Baha. So starting next, when we come back next week, yeah, we're going to start reading about some of these prophecies that some of which very quickly came to pass, and some, further down the road, and some which I think are safe to say are in development, shall we say. But again, this is about the prophecies of Baha'u'llah and Abdul Baha, and I look forward to continuing that.
I think what's
next week.
important here is that there is Baha'u'llah's words are a promise to mankind.
Yes, yes.
And that promise is that we will reach that stage of unity and peace that the whole world is searching for.
Yes, I agree with you totally. And the thing is, one thing I think that is illustrated or implied here, maybe even illustrated, is that I think it's easy to look at various prophecies as they're going to come about with a wave of the hand by magic,
Uh,
but no, some prophecies are conditional.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if you don't do this, then this is what's going to happen.
That's
If
right.
you do this, this will happen. And we see, and we'll read more next week about, again, people who were warned
Yeah.
by Baha'u'llah. If you do this, then, if you follow my word, then things are going to happen. If you don't follow my word, this is what you can expect. And we'll read about that next week. And at this time, as always, we like to have some time where anyone who would choose to share a prayer or a reading of your or a song of your choosing. This is that time, and like I said, we can't see tiny little frames on our screen here. Is Andy with us today?
Yes, I am.
Andy's with us. Andy, would you like to share a song with us today?
Sure.
Please feel free to do so.
Right. This is a song that is sung in Persian, and I don't know the words for it, so I'm going to play it instrumentally.
Okay.
Andy, we can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear it either. It's something's wrong with his
can't-
audio.
All right. You weren't able to hear me? Okay. All right. Let me try again. I think I know what happened. Try to get.
What would make his cut him out through the Zoom. So thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share?
Yes, give me a minute.
Yes, Terry.
He is the mighty, the pardoner, the compassionate. O God, my God, thou beholdest thy servants in the abyss of perdition and error, or is the light of that divine guidance, without the desire of the world. Thou knowest the helplessness and their feebleness. Where is thy power, O thou, in whose grasp lie the powers of heaven and earth? I ask thee, O Lord my God, by the splendor of the lights of thy loving kindness, and the billows of the ocean of thy knowledge and wisdom, and by thy word wherewith thou hast swayed the peoples of thy dominion, to grant that I may be one of them that have observed thy bidding in thy book. Do thou ordain for me that which thou hast ordained for thy trusted ones, them that have quaffed the wine of divine inspiration from the chalice of thy bounty, and hasten to do thy pleasure and observe thy covenant and testament. Powerful art thou to do as thou wilt. There is none other God but thee, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Decree for me by thy bounty, O Lord, that which shall prosper me in this world and hereafter, and shall draw me nigh unto thee, thou who art the Lord of all men. There is none other God but thee, the one, the mighty, the glorified.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share at this time?
Okay.
Well, then, as always, this is that time that we like to remind people that this is a group effort from people by people of different communities, mostly here in the Tampa Bay area, but sometimes from parts unknown or other, not parts unknown. But other, bottom line is it's a group shared community effort. And when I say shared community effort, I also like to include the people that are joining us in Zoom because they're part of that effort
Of
too.
course.
Okay. And yeah, we're always glad that you choose to come and share this with us. We're just doing what we've been told to do, and that is to share the word. We have no special authority, as we've often said. The Baha'i Faith has no special ministers or anything. We're all simply teachers of the faith and doing what we can in the best ways that we can, either through sharing, the teachings, the written word, or hopefully leading by example. And if you would like to get more information from reliable sources about the Baha'i faith and the Baha'i teachings, there are some definitive websites that we always like to point out. And what are they, Daryl?
They are www.baha'i.org, www.baha'i.us, www.bahaiteachings.org, or if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area, or you don't even have to be in the Tampa Bay area, you can go on to the Clearwater Baha'i website at www.clearwaterbaha'is.org.
Yes. Yes. Oh boy. That's so much easier.
Okay.
Thank
right.
you, Nini. So, yeah, here we are in the middle of holiday season. A lot of people are looking forward, obviously, to the coming of, Christmas Day and so forth. And so this is a special time of year for a variety of reasons from different people. I don't think they have to wait till a special time of year uh, to do what you always remind them to do.
Well, I don't think that should be either.
Yeah.
But I think for those of you in this world who are loved, you are truly blessed. And for those of you who are looking to improve your world, there is one thing that you can do that will make sure that not just you, but all those around you are blessed. And that is share the love. It's simple, it's smart, it won't cost you a thing. And I guarantee you that it will improve your world and the world of those you love. Thank you all for joining us today.
O people of justice, be as brilliant as the light, and as splendid as the fire that blazed in the burning bush. The brightness of the fire of your love will no doubt fuse and unify the contending peoples and ends of the earth. And whilst the fierceness of the flame of enmity and hatred cannot but resemble the strife and rumors, we beseech God that He may shield His people from the evil designs of His enemies. He verily has power over all things. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing.
Have a good week, folks. Take care.